Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a major leak coming out of Doctor Who, and this leak is a pretty funny one because this is what we've been talking about ever since they announced that Ncuti Gatwa was going to be the 15th Doctor in Doctor Who and was going to be replacing, obviously, David Tennant in the special. It is very clear where they were going to go down this road. If you guys have been watching Doctor Who, or if you've been reading about the news or watching videos like this one about the news, you'll realize very quickly that Doctor Who is going down the rabbit hole of identity politics. You already knew this was going to be a thing, and now apparently there is a new leak coming out that basically proves everything that I've been saying about what's going to happen with Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor Who and where the show is going. So let's get into this article, guys, from Comic Book Movie. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button, man. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into the YouTube algorithm. So the headline reads, Doctor Who leak appears to reveal that the show's new big bad and a potentially divisive romance. Now again, these are spoilers for those of you who may not want to be spoiled on the upcoming Doctor Who, but I promise you, once you read about the romance, you can already know where this is going, right? This is going to be, according to Ncuti Gatwa, it's going to be a leftist bubble haven. He specifically said that the episodes featuring his doctor was going to be primarily a leftist bubble haven for basically anybody who's in that little bubble themselves. It's going to talk from his standpoint in terms of his politics and his personal ideology. That's what these shows are going to be now going forward. But it said shortly before Doctor Who's 360th anniversary specials premiered, key plot details for all of them found their way online, including confirmation of that controversial bi-regeneration. Good old hint, by regeneration, right? Now another, unearthed by a user on the R Gallifrey Reddit page, may have pulled back the curtain on Ncuti Gatwa's stint as the 15th Doctor. Now, again, before we even get into it, guys, what do you obviously think is going to happen? I've said this time and time again, and I will continue to say it, especially since, again, this is just a rumor. It hasn't been confirmed, but the person who this rumor is coming from has also dropped extremely accurate information for every single one of these specials that came out before they came out. So this person seems to be highly credible, but again, it's just a rumor, so you could take it as such, but it wouldn't shock me if this is the route that they take, and I would almost guarantee that it is. So it says the entire story for this month's Christmas special is out there if you go looking, and while it's best to take this latest with a pinch of salt, we have a good reason to believe it could be legitimate. Why? Well, the leaker in question was right about a lot of what we saw in the Star Beast, Wild Blue Yonder, and the Giggle. Before we get into Whoniverse's potential new big bad, it said that Ruby Sunday's boyfriend, played by Little Mermaid star Jonah Hauer-King, falls for the Doctor as the series progresses. Showrunner Russell T Davies is supposedly looking to move away from the expected romance between the Time Lord and his female companion, and a love triangle is unexpected. As for the larger arc he has planned for Doctor Who, it will reportedly see the 15th Doctor regenerating into an evil version of himself called the Valeyard. That's a real deep dive into the Whoniverse lore, as in the original Doctor Who series, he was essentially a version of the Doctor who regenerated with his darker impulses no longer pushed down. The hero eventually managed to overcome and bury that facet of his personality, but it seems like Davies now intends to put a new spin on the concept. Well, of course he is. Davies is trying to change everything. That's very clear, but let's go back to the initial thing that was said. So obviously it seems as if the male is going to fall for another male, and of course this is going to be a gay love story. This is not too far to be expected considering it's Ncuti Gatwa, right? If he's going to make a TV show that's going to be based in his leftist bubble, of course they're going to push the LGBTQ stuff. That is literally the prominent thing in the leftist bubble. That is what they're going to do. So of course that Ncuti Gatwa is going to have a gay relationship. I said this many videos prior, okay? Like we're basically like a week and a half, 2 weeks into talking about Doctor Who, and I remember saying specifically in one of my videos that Ncuti Gatwa was going to be gay in the new upcoming Doctor Who, and that he was going to be dating a dude. I just really felt like that was going to be the case. I was willing to be proven wrong, but again, I didn't think I was going to. It says somewhat confusingly, it said a future version of the 15th Doctor, perhaps the 14th Doctor, after he regenerates, will then have to travel back in time to try and get the Valeyard to turn back into his heroic self, with Davies hoping to enlist several previous Doctor actors to send Gatwa's iteration out in style. Presumably that means the actor is just sticking around for a 3-season run, which seems to be the maximum in this modern era. Finally, the league also claims that there are plans to place in the Daleks to return in next year's season 1. We'll see if this leads anywhere, but certainly it's intriguing to think about where Doctor Who could be taking us in the years ahead. Recently, Davies shared his thoughts on the bi-generation twist leaking in advance. Now, I'm not going to talk about that just yet. I want to talk about the fact that they're renaming it season 1. Now, I am not surprised at all that they're doing this, okay? Anytime they want to kind of take over a new story, they want to kind of make it their own thing for modern audiences, right? There always tends to be a remake or a reboot of some kind. This is them essentially remaking and rebooting it without actually doing so, right? So they're just renaming it season one, and they're doing it with the Black Doctor, right? This is the first ever Black Doctor, and now they're retitling it season one because they're going to start Doctor Who off with Ncuti Gatwa as the Black Doctor, and they're probably going to replace him with only Black Doctors from now on, at least for the prominent future. Now, that's just my idea, okay? It's obviously that is not confirmed whatsoever, so I want to make that very clear, but I really do think that's what they're going to do. They're going to start this off season one with Ncuti, and they're going to replace him eventually with another Black Doctor. I just really think that's going to be the case. The time of white doctors is gone. I really do think they're going to replace him with Black Doctors from now on, but we'll see what actually happens in the future. So it's kind of leaked, so a lot of fans will know about this, but that's just fans, he said, and my sister will sit there screaming because there will be an awful lot of people who don't know what's going to happen. The vast majority, and it plays with them so much here. What's going on? What a laugh. Doctor Who's Christmas special, The Church on Ruby Road, will premiere on BBC and Disney Plus on Christmas Day. Now, I would love to see the viewership numbers of that. I'm very curious about the viewership numbers. The thing is, if it's just one singular episode, chances are it's going to have high viewership because here's the thing, with season-long episodes, the first episode usually is the one with the most viewership, obviously, and then it tapers off afterwards, and if the show really sucks, then it really bombs after like the second or third episode, and it becomes something where many people don't even finish the season. But unfortunately with this, it seems like it's only going to be one episode on Christmas Day, and it's going to be one singular Christmas special. So all the hate watchers and all the fans and all the people who are in between are going to be watching it. So it probably will have high viewership, most likely. I just think it's going to be hilarious to compare the numbers of this special to previous specials and just to see exactly how much this Black Doctor is going to outperform its previous predecessors. But again, it goes to show that they're not really sure of what they're doing. I feel like they're either completely remaking this entire thing all because they have a brand new Black Doctor, or they're just trying to keep it somewhat relevant by really tossing it up on side of his head. You know what I mean? And it's weird because from what I can understand from Doctor Who fans, this show was having pretty decent viewership consistently. It was a thing in Britain. Like, people were interested in seeing what was going to happen with the next Doctor Who. So I really don't think they had to turn it upside on its head like this. I feel like they took way too big of a risk, and now they're getting way less viewership than they did in the past. Are they still getting pretty good viewership for a show like this? Absolutely. But compared to where they were prior, it's nowhere near. I mean, they've lost millions of viewers over the last few years, and it seems like this is a move that they may think is going to get them more viewers, but I don't really think that's going to happen. So we're going to see what happens ultimately when the Christmas special comes out. I would be interested in seeing the viewership numbers. I think it would do well. I just don't know if it would do extremely well, but of course, I obviously can be wrong. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.